Alizée Jacotey, known professionally as Alizée Jacotey, is a French recording artist and dancer. She was born and raised in Ajaccio, Corsica. She was discovered by Mylène Farmer, following her winning performance in the talent show, Grains de Star, in 1999. While collaborating with Mylène Farmer and Laurent Boutonnat, she followed it with a series of albums that attained immense popularity by pushing the boundaries of lyrical content in mainstream popular music and imagery in her music videos, which became a fixture on NRJ, Europe 1, MTV, Virgin, and many others. Throughout her career, many of her songs have been in top 25 hit lists on the record charts, including Moi, Lolita, a.li.ze copyright, Je n'aime pas. Gourmandises, Mademoiselle Juliette, her cover version of Isla Bonita, Parler Tout Bas, Les Collines, and a Cours de l'Automne. According to the IFPI and SNEP, a.li.ze Jacotey is one of the best-selling female French artists of the 21st century, and is also the singer with most exports out of France. A.li.ze Jacotey entered the music business in 2000. She has since released 5 studio albums, the first 2 of which were composed by Laurent Boutonnat and written by Mylène Farmer. Her first album was Gourmandises, which received platinum certification within 3 months of release. After its international launch in 2001, Gourmandises was a success both in France and abroad, earning a.li.ze Jacotey the distinction of being the highest-selling female French singer in 2001. The album featured her most successful single Moi, Lolita, which reached #1 in several countries in Europe and East Asia. In the UK, the song was acclaimed by the New Musical Express, who recognised it with a Single of the Week award. It became a rare example of a foreign-language song to chart highly in the UK, peaking at #9. Gourmandises was followed by a second studio album, Mescaron's a copyright Lectrix, in 2003. Following its release, a.li.ze Jacotey toured during the fall of 2003, performing in 43 concerts throughout France, Belgium and Switzerland. A.li.ze Jacotey married fellow French singer Jacotey My Châtelaine in late 2003. Following her marriage, she took a hiatus from singing before returning with a new album, Psyche a.li.ze on December 3, 2007, which became most popular in Mexico. Her fourth album, titled Un enfant du siècle, was released on March 29, 2010, one of the most acclaimed by the critics. In early 2011 she recorded a duet with Alain Chamfort for his new album Elle and Louis. Released in March 2013, a.li.ze Jacotey's fifth studio album, 5 received acclaim from the critics, still with a continuous promotion including the 2 first songs a Cours de l'Automne, and Je vais bien. Later she collaborated on a.li.ze's single Dear Darling. Starting on September 28, she participated in the TV show Danse avec les stars, which she won on November 23, 2013. Biography, 1984 1999, Early Life and Career Beginnings. Also known by her nickname Lili, a.li.ze Jacotey started dancing early in her life, and by age 4 was already proficient. A year later, she was enrolled in Ajaccio's École de Danse Monique Fragi dance school, and trained there until she was 15. In 1995, at the age of 11, she won a coloring competition organized by the French airline Air Outre-mer. Her design won first prize and was reproduced on the cabin of one of the airline's aircraft. The aircraft was subsequently named after her, and a.li.ze Jacotey won a trip to the Maldives for her efforts. In 1999, she appeared on the TV talent show Grains de Star, broadcast on marre 666. She initially intended to sign up for the program's dance contest, but that category was reserved for groups only. A.li.ze Jacotey therefore joined the singing category instead, performing the song Waiting for Tonight by Jennifer Lopez and Ma Prairie. She went on to win the Mylène Award for Most Promising Young Singing Star of Tomorrow. 2000 2002, Gourmandises, Moi, Lolita, a.li.ze Jacotey and the international success. Her winning performance was seen by veteran songwriters Mylène Farmer and Laurent Boutonnat, who were looking for a young, fresh voice to partake in their new project. They approached a.li.ze copyright.e, and she was selected after studio auditions. The duo arranged her debut with a meticulously orchestrated launch, controlling her image and public appearances. In 2000, they produced her maiden album, Gourmandises, which was a great success in France, Belgium, Germany, Mexico, and the United Kingdom. The first single, Moi Lolita, resurrected the rich French musical tradition pioneered by Serge Gainsbourg in 1964 with the song Parve Lola, inspired by the celebrated novel Lolita, creating the image which defined a.li.ze copyright.e in the early years of her career. She won an M6 award in 2000 and returned with a follow-up album, Mademoiselle Juliette, in 2003. This second album was also quite successful, though less so than her first album. A video album shot during her European concert tour soon followed. a.li.ze copyright.e made her debut with a single Moi Lolita, her most successful to date. It enjoyed success throughout most of Europe and parts of East Asia, reaching #1 in several countries. The associated music video portrayed a.li.ze copyright.e as an impoverished rustic teen visiting a dance club in the city with her little sister, pursued by a young man who had lent them the bus fare to get there, but whose romantic interest in her she never returned. The song was later used in the UK trailer of the 2006 film, A Good Year, and was a part of the film's soundtrack. The single was from her debut album, Gourmandises, released in 2000. The album, written by Farmer and composed by Boutonnat, sold over 788,000 copies in France. It reached platinum status in just 3 months. In 2001, the album was launched internationally and a.li.ze copyright.e became the highest-selling female French singer ever. The album went on to sell over 2 million copies worldwide. Farmer and Boutonnat kept a tight rein how the album was marketed and controlled the image in which a.li.ze copyright.e was portrayed. In the meantime, a.li.ze copyright.e gave very few interviews, and even when she did, they did not stretch beyond 20 minutes per journalist. Neither did she agree to any photo shoots. Her second single a.li.ze copyright, also from the same album, followed soon. It also hit #1 in France, and gained some international success. The video of the sexually alliterative song shows a miraculously acrobatic a.li.ze copyright.e frolicking amidst popping bubbles in front of a pink backdrop, erotically singing about her cautious search for a true love. The video was shot in a studio in Brussels, which had a 25-meter by 10-meter painted canvas to serve as the background, with real bubbles. This single was followed up with another single from the same album, the title song, Gourmandises. The video, which shows a group of teenage boys and girls on a picnic, was shot in a day. The last single from the album was Parler Tout Bas, about coming of age, and was illustrated with a surreal music video. In France, Parler Tout Bas was the third single, then followed by the release of Gourmandises, 2003 2004, Mademoiselle copyright Lectrix, en concert en Asia Recognizance. In 2003, a.li.ze copyright.e returned with her second album Mademoiselle Lectrix. With the release of this album, she changed her image from a Lolita to that of a more toned-down teenager. This album was also written by Farmer and Boutonnat. While it had some success in and outside France, this second album, featuring English versions of 4 tracks, sold 400,000 copies in France. The first single from this album, Je n'ai marre, was released in 2003. The music video for this shows a.li.ze copyright.e in a glass cage, singing while having water splashed on her. The plexiglass cage, 3 by 3 meters in dimension, was constructed in a Parisian studio, and the shooting of the video took 2 days. An English-language version of this song, titled I'm Fed Up, was also released, and featured similar visuals for the music video. The other singles from this album were Je Parviens and a Contre Courant. Like Je n'ai marre, Je Parviens, You Pido, and Arma copyright Li it also had English versions. The video for Je Parviens resembles the ambience of a concert with a.li.ze copyright.e dancing in the midst of several other dancers. Conte Coron, the last single from this album, was shot in an abandoned coal factory. Following the release of Mes Corons a Perme Electriques, a.li.ze Copyright went on a country-wide tour of France, along with a performance each in Belgium and Switzerland, during the second half of 2003. The tour started off with a performance on August 26, 2003 in Paris. It concluded with her performance on the prestigious l'Olympia Hall in Paris and eve of January 17, 2004 at the Lazare Copyright Nith Concert Hall in the same city and had covered major cities including Lyon, Rouen, Lille, Grenoble and Dijon. A live CD and DVD, titled a.li.ze Copyright en Concert, composed of selected performances from her tour, was launched a year later in the fall of 2004. The audio CD contained tracks taken from her 2 studio albums. The DVD featured video footage of the same performances as on the CD, along with bonus footage of her rehearsals. 2005 2007, The Hiatus and a Shining Start in Mexico. In 2005, after the success of her first tour and first live album release, a.li.ze Copyright first disappeared from the limelight, then reappeared in the media as it was revealed she was pregnant. She gave birth to a baby girl, Annalie, April 28, 2005 and put her career on hold. However, the tabloids devoted several articles, for the name a.li.ze Copyright appeared with others, including the false listings of the Coliastream affair. After several rumors of an imminent return, especially in collaboration with Indochine, a.li.ze Copyright left Universal Records to sign with RCA in August 2007, also revealing that the En Concert album and tour were her last collaboration with her mentors. Meanwhile, a compilation of the live album was re-released in early 2007 in Mexico by Universal Music as a CD plus DVD release, following the featuring of the songs on local radio stations. With the re-release and renewed interest, the songs climbed up the music charts in the country. The album became a hit, peaking at number 4 in the international chart on May 28, 2007, and number 8 on the main albums chart. En Concert has a gold certification for shipments over 50,000 copies only in Mexico. 2007 2009, Psyche copyright da copyright license, tout a.li.ze Copyright and the Latin American Conquest. After a 3-year hiatus, a time spent out of the media spotlight, a.li.ze Copyright returned in December 2007 with a new album, Psyche copyright da copyright license, the first one to be made without the creative supervision of her former mentor, Mylène Farmer. The album, which features 11 tracks, was made available for digital downloads November 26, 2007, with a full release on December 3, 2007 on the RCA label. The album includes collaborations with Bertrand Bergelat, Daniel Dark, Oxmo Puccino, Jar Copyright Ra Copyright My Chaitlane, Michelle-Yves Kochman, and Jean Falk. The first single from the album was Mademoiselle Juliette, officially released on September 30, 2007. It was accidentally released early on the Virgin Megastore website on September 23, 2007, but was taken down later citing an error on the part of Virgin Music, France. The single was later made available in online music stores as well as on radio stations, and went on to capture the number 13 spot on the legal music downloads charts. To promote the single, a.li.ze Copyright appeared on the French radio station, NRJ, on September 27, 2007. The video for the single was released for broadcast on November 19, 2007, though it was made available on MSN France on November 16, 2007. It was released on physical media, both CD and vinyl, on January 21, 2008. Another track from the album, 5060, was leaked 2 months before the album was released. Though the song was not mentioned by name, the leak was confirmed in a press release which revealed the title and release schedule of the album. 5060 later launched as the second single from the album in February 2008. The lyric of 5060 tells, in personal and metaphorical manner, of a young model under the guidance of Andy Warhol, possibly inspired by real-life story of Edie Sedgwick. The song ends with a reiteration of how she foolishly believed Andy thought her the most beautiful model of all. 3 music videos were released for the single, one for the album version of the song and the other 2 for 2 remixes. An a.li.ze copyrightee website, psycheclips.com, was dedicated to the video series, the first of which was released on May 5, 2008. Coinciding with the new album, a new official website was created, which, despite being announced on September 11, 2007, was kept under wraps until November 28, 2007. The album was also promoted via an official artist profile at MySpace. Advertising and marketing campaigns for the album began November 22, 2007 with ad campaigns on NRJ Radio, TF1 TV, and the web. In March 2008, a.li.ze copyrightee visited Mexico for the first time in a short promotional tour. On March 5 she was supposed to hold the second ever public autograph session of her career, but it was cancelled due to problems with the store's security. a.li.ze copyrightee held an improvised press conference to apologize to all her Mexican fans and to explain that it was not her fault. Sony BMG Mexico also released a statement saying it was not a.li.ze copyrightee's fault, that it was the store who had problems with the security, and that they did not expect so many people in attendance. Fences had been broken and children were in danger. a.li.ze copyrightee also promised to make amends by having another autograph session when she returned to the country on the following tour. She also stated that her tour would start on May 18 in Moscow, followed by concerts in Mexico and then France. She also commented that piracy in music has 2 sides, one good, and one bad, saying that sometimes it's good because her music reaches places that she never thought to reach. After the success of a.li.ze copyrightee's tour in Mexico, and in an attempt to mitigate the damage caused during her first promotional visit, a.li.ze copyrightee announced an autograph session with fans on June 26, 2008 in Mexico City. Over 300 CDs were signed and the record label executives of Sony BMG Mexico presented a gold certification for shipments over 50,000 copies of Psyche copyright a.li.ze Mexican Tour Edition. A new cover singing in Mexico was Madonna's cover, Isla Bonita. It went on to become a.li.ze copyrightee's first top 10 on the airplay chart. Following the success of a.li.ze copyrightee concert and Psyche copyright a.li.ze in Mexico, a.li.ze copyrightee's former music label, Universal Music, released a compilation album, titled Tout a.li.ze copyrightee. The compilation, which is a Mexico-only release, consists of 15 tracks from her first 2 studio albums. It is augmented with a bonus DVD featuring some of her music videos. The compilation debuted at number 62 on the Mexican Top 100 Albums chart and number 20 on the Mexican International Top 20 Albums chart. 2010 a 2011, Un enfant du siècle, New Style, Critical Success and Transition. At the beginning of 2009, a.li.ze copyrightee had to cancel a concert in France. She announced then that she was already working on her future album, which would sound very different from all of her previous recordings. The album was called Un enfant du siècle and was released in France on March 29, 2010. A teaser can be seen on the internet, called Un enfant du siècle. According to British website Pop Justice, the first single is partially in English and it is called Limelight. On February 15, 2010 they uploaded the full version of the song and a clip from the music video. The special collector edition of the album was made available for pre-orders on February 4, 2010. However, it was later confirmed by Pop Justice itself that Limelight was a teaser single, and the official single from a.li.ze copyrightee's 4th album is Les Collines. The full album leaked onto the internet on March 19, 2010. The album was released in France on March 29, 2010. The album was praised by critics, considering it as a masterpiece, and praised radical change in every way. Respondents praised the album for its mature nature, abstract and sober, the musical direction of a.li.ze copyrightee, calling it her most risky record. On that day a.li.ze copyrightee signed autographs at the Virgin Megastore in Paris. The album is inspired by and depicts the life of Edie Sedgwick. a.li.ze copyrightee performed in Israel in a tribute to Serge Gainsbourg on July 28, 2010 in Tel Aviv and National Opera Copyright Ra. She covered a song called Dis Louis Toi que je t'aime, originally sung by Vanessa Paradis, accompanied by the National Orchestra. She also performed a song with Israeli singer Harold Scott. The music video of the first single Les Collines was released on March 19, 2010 on a.li.ze Copyright.e's official YouTube channel, which peaked the daily most viewed musicians channel worldwide. She is also one of the artists who recorded a duet with Alain Chamfort. The release date of her collaboration single Claire Reviewed La Lune was April 29 in 2012. a.li.ze Copyright.e appeared in several shows on French television. From 1 to February 6, 2012. She announced that a new album was scheduled for spring 2012, marking a return to roots music which would be released on the Sony Music label. Sony subsequently announced that the album was to be delayed until the fall of 2012. June 27, 2012, a.li.ze Copyright.e announced on live chat that the first single from the new album was to be released June 28, 2012. The first music video was shot on July 15, 2012, but this was only released in VidZone platform for PS3. 2012 Euro 2013, 5 and Danse avec les stars, a new beginning. The name of the single was a Euro Cause de l'Automne. a.li.ze Copyright.e also revealed that for the new album she was working with Jean-Jacques Goldman, B.B. Bruns and Thomas Bullard. July 12. A limited collector's edition of the fifth album became available for pre-order. The original release date was scheduled to be October 1, 2012 to March 2013, among whom she was revealing details. A collector's box was released for pre-order. Page states January 23, 2013 as for the release. In December, the official video of a Euro Cause de l'Automne was published on a.li.ze Copyright.e's VEVO channel, only available in France, to February, when finally was available for the rest of the world. The first public performance of her last single was on her FM radio on December 21, 2012, where she sang the song in a live broadcast. a.li.ze Copyright.e made a several promotion of the album, including the January-February 2013 issue of the French edition of Inked magazine. Finally, a.li.ze Copyright.e announced Alexandre Azaria as the artistic director for her newest album 5. In January, the name and the cover of the album was shown on a Star Academy show homage to the singer, where a.li.ze Copyright.e made an appearance. She performed on many shows, including the Soccer Beat show of Monaco, Alain Chamfort's En Concert at Le Grand Rex, also her new participation in Les Enfants Copyrights 2013 concert at the Paris Bercy Hall, and Le Tour de France 2013 opening ceremony performance in Porto Vecchio, where she sang the second single from the album Je vais bien. In August, a.li.ze Copyright.e was confirmed to be participating in the upcoming fourth season of the popular reality show Danse avec les stars for the promotion of 5. About a month later, she announced that she was again in the studio for a surprise, and in September she revealed her collaboration with the singer a.li.ze in a new, French version of his single Dear Darling, which was released on the second day of the month. a.li.ze Copyright.e won first place in Danse avec les stars in November 2013. 2014 A Euro Present, Blonde. Metro News published that the singer will appear at the NRJ Music Awards 2014 on December 14, 2013, where she participated in the event during December 2013, performing the song Scream and Shout with will.i.am in place of his previous song partner, Britney Spears, wherein she replaced the famous lyrical passage with a.li.ze Copyright.e, Bitch, and her featured song Le Tourbillon with Tao. At the end of December 2013, the singer began recording her sixth studio album, which is scheduled for release in spring 2014. The project is saved between France and Japan, since the music of the artist will be re-imported into Asian countries. In mid-March 2014, her new single Blonde was announced. It was released on the 17th of the same month. It is the first single from her sixth studio album, which will be released June 23, 2014. Personal life. Though described as a very shy and a reserved person, she likes performing in front of audiences. Although she is most famous as a singer, a.li.ze Copyright.e prefers dancing, and is quite proficient in classical dance, jazz, Italian-style ballet, tap and flamenco. a.li.ze Copyright.e married fellow French singer Ja Copyright Ra Copyright My Châtelaine in Las Vegas, Nevada on November 6, 2003. They have a daughter named Anneli. The public found out about their marriage in February 2004 when Voice magazine released a copy of their marriage certificate in an article. She was quiet about her private and family life and kept her baby out of the press to the best of her ability, but since 2011 has been much more open about her private life. Ja copyright Ra copyright My and a.li.ze copyright E divorced in early 2012. During Danse avec les Stars in fall 2013, a.li.ze copyright E met her current boyfriend Gra copyright Go a.li. on it. Artistry, music and voice. a.li.ze copyright E possesses a mezzo-soprano vocal type and range. She started her musical career with songs that she described as soulful pop music. In 2000 she erupted in the musical world, becoming an international sensation because she was the most successful female French singer in a long while. a.li.ze copyright E is known for blending electronic sounds with pop, such as psychedelic pop and most recently, mainstream Europop. At the time of her debut, NRJ Radio referred to her as the Queen of Europop as a French Lolita. In her debut album a.li.ze copyright E used Europop with mellow sounds, world music and the classic French chanson. The second album was primarily house sounds, instrumentals and electronic sounds mixed with the sounds from her last album. The third album marked a change of style, replacing her earlier styles with psychedelic sounds and world music with a very rhythmic music. The single 5060 is dedicated to the memory of model Edie Sedgwick. For her fourth album she had another radical change in musical style with a new genre for her career, a Euro mainstream, with strong rhythms compared with her previous three albums. a.li.ze copyright E made clear that the renewal is a big part of her contribution to music. Influences. a.li.ze copyright E has named Madonna a great influence, and said she wants to sing with her sometime. a.li.ze copyright E also cites Whitney Houston as a big influence. Another big influence is her ex-artistical godmother, Mylène Farmer, both are the masters at the French Chanson Hall, Serge Gainsbourg and France Gall. The American artist Andy Warhol and the dead model Edie Sedgwick. She has also mentioned loving Gwen Stefani's style and hair. Her musical influence comprises pop in all of its forms, world music, house music, mainstream and hip-hop. Public image. Even though the albums have portrayed her in a sexy, Lolita-like image, a.li.ze copyright E had a squeaky clean public image as the perfect teenager during her teenage years. For her second album she mostly kept a similar style but with more electronic influences. Her hairstyle was usually a simple bob and makeup was designed to emphasize and enhance her natural beauty. After a 2-year hiatus, she returned with a third album whose style was more psychedelic, and which saw her seeking a new and wider audience. She is known to be very fond of tattoos and in recent years she has added several new ones to her arms. Possibly the most well-known one is the large Tinkerbell tattoo on her back. It was often shown during her promotion of the Psyche or copyright Dark copyright a.li.ze's album. For her fourth album she changed her style radically, both musically and with regard to her image, with a more mature performance and more elaborate makeup, clothing and hairstyle. For the promotion of this album a.li.ze copyright E posed for a French magazine, Technicart, in the Like a Virgin style of her idol Madonna. a.li.ze copyright E over the years has been declared a fashionista, appearing in various fashion magazines, beauty and culture. She has attended major fashion weeks in the world and smaller events. In the 2010 and 2011 Sexiest Women in the World polls, run by the French edition of FHM magazine, readers voted a.li.ze copyright E as the second sexiest woman out of 100. From 2012 to the present a.li.ze copyright E has appeared in many magazines and publications including the January-February 2013 issue of the French edition of Inked magazine which featured a photo shoot, including on the cover, of her as a manacled and blooded punk princess by the French photographer Julien Lacourse copyright E and many more. In 2013, she was one of the guests of honor for her friend John Galliano in Paris Fashion Week 2013. a.li.ze copyright E is ranked at number 4 in a list of the most influential female artists in France by the specialized site Grand Prix de l'Ira copyright reputation in March 2014. Legacy. A Euro Medal of Ajaccio delivered by the Territorial Collectivity of Corsica, awarded the highest civil honor in Corsica, by consul Paul Jacobi on December 7, 2013. a.li.ze copyright became an international pop culture icon immediately after launching her recording career. Media says, one of the most controversial and female vocalists of the 21st century who broke into the music world at 17 years old with a worldwide success coming in the Europop queen spearheaded the rise of post-millennial Europop. a.li.ze copyright early on cultivated a mixture of a sweet Lolita innocence and experience that broke the bank. Her debut album Gourmandises sold in 3 months 700,000 only in France, plus of 1 million in Europe only 2001. In early 2001, she won the NRJ Music Awards for Francophone Revelation after she won an M6 award in late 2000. It is also named in a similar category to the Victoires de la Musique. a.li.ze copyright won in early 2002 the World Music Award for Best French Exporter. She is the 31st best-selling single in the history of France for Moi. Lolita and 2 singles in the French Top 100 Singles of the 2000s and list of best-selling singles in France history respectively. In the same year Le Figaro newspaper announced a.li.ze copyright's music was the top-earning French music of the year thanks in part to Farmer and Boutonnat's collaboration, which earned 10.4 million. The Mademoiselle Juliette video released on November 19, 2007 is listed at 138 in the countdown of 150 most important videos of the last 15 years of the MTV Latin America channel. a.li.ze copyright is famous for her most successful single to date Moi. Lolita, which became a worldwide sensation, with the singer becoming a phenomenon and a national obsession in France. The singer is known for her fast rise to fame, also in media is known as the most famous of Lolitas, also today as the French singer with most exports from France. Critical response: despite the marketing hype and commercial success, there were mixed critical responses to the launch of Moi. Lolita, a.li.ze copyright's first single. The critics felt that the similarity in style to that of Mylène Farmer was too striking. Some felt that her Lolita image overshadowed her singing prowess, describing her as desperately trying to be sexy, and many were ready to write her off. Some of her songs have been described as sweeping, atmospheric ballads, whose melodies are so sparkling and beguiling, and from which a.li.ze copyright manages to squeeze more emotion than the usual pop package. a.li.ze copyright's 3 albums include a wide range of songs, from catchy pop tunes to soulful ballads. Radio France Internationale featured Gourmandises as their CD of the week, stating, "The 10 songs on a.li.ze copyright's debut album, Gourmandises, have all been expertly manufactured by the Farmer hit machine. Sweet syrupy pop ditties are wrapped in silky synths, violins and catchy techno beats, and judging by the success of a.li.ze copyright's sexually alliterative second single, a.li.ze copyright, the Farmer team have hit upon a winning formula." Gourmandises, the French word for sweets, is the appropriate title of French pop princess a.li.ze copyright's debut album. Like an aniseed ball, the mix of pop tunes and ballads are pleasant and consistent throughout, but at the same time never too adventurous. The French lyrics may spoil the album for some, but the catchy tunes and lyrics highlight the universal language of pop. 16-year-old a.li.ze copyright is France's answer to the teen queen phenomenon. With one notable exception, a.li.ze copyright has real talent. In recent years, critics have commented upon the maturing of a.li.ze copyright's image and style, and her being a growing artist full of classy sounds, and having a strong voice. They have observed how Lolita, who had begun her career at the beginning of the new century, has transformed into a mature woman and accomplished singer throughout the years. Other ventures. Philanthropy. a.li.ze copyright is actively involved in charity work through Les Enfants Copyrights, a group of French celebrities who organize fundraising concerts every year. The proceeds from these concerts go to Les Restaurants du Cœur. The organization, set up by French comedian Coluche, helps feed the poor. a.li.ze copyright participated in these concerts in 2001, 2002 and from 2008 to 2013. In 2011, the singer participated in the collective Paris Africa to fight against famine in Africa. She recorded the song Des Ricochets along with 60 artists, for the compilation album Collectif Paris Africa pour la Nice. Works, music, studio albums. Gourmandises, Mezcoronza copyright Lectrix, Psyche copyright Dark copyright Lyces, Unon Fondu Sayarke, 5, Blonde, Dance, Shows, Danse avec les stars, La Danse Fête Sun Show, Tours, Singer, En Concert, Psyche copyright Dark copyright Lyces Tour, Blonde Tour, Dancer, Danse avec les stars La Tournée copyright E, see also. Socia copyright Tar copyright des auteurs, Composites et copyright d'états de musique, Syndicate National de la Permildition Phonographique, French Top 100 Singles of the 2000s, List of best-selling singles in France, references. Bibliography, a.li.ze copyright E. Bibliothèque Nationale de France. 2008. ISBN A978-2-915957-49-5. External links, official website, official VEVO channel, official YouTube channel, official Sony Music Dailymotion channel, official Universal Records Dailymotion channel, FR, a.li.ze copyright E.